Daniel, an adventurous young man with an appetite for excitement, had recently joined the world of online dating. His curiosity led him to swipe right on a profile that caught his eye. A profile that belonged to a breathtakingly beautiful woman named Elena. Her pictures exuded an ethereal allure, and her bio hinted at shared interests and a quirky sense of humor. Intrigued, Daniel struck up a conversation, and they quickly found themselves drawn into each other's virtual world. The chemistry between them was undeniable. The witty banter flowed effortlessly, and Daniel couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement about the prospect of meeting Elena in person. When she suggested they take their connection offline and meet at her place, Daniel's heart raced with anticipation. He agreed, his imagination running wild with thoughts of what the night might hold. As he stood outside Elena's apartment building, the city lights cast an enchanting glow on the streets. He couldn't deny the thrill that coursed through his veins. The door swung open, revealing Elena, even more stunning in person. Her smile was as dazzling as he had imagined, and he felt a flutter in his chest as she extended a hand to welcome him inside. The apartment was tastefully decorated with hints of Elena's personality scattered throughout. The air was filled with a subtle perfume that made Daniel's senses come alive. He was entranced by her stories, her laughter filling the space and erasing any lingering nerves. Everything seemed perfect, too perfect perhaps. As the evening progressed, Elena excused herself briefly, leaving Daniel alone in the living room. He gazed around, his eyes taking in the carefully curated photographs and mementos that adorned the shelves. However, a nagging feeling of unease began to gnaw at him. It was as though something was amiss, a subtle shift in the atmosphere that he couldn't quite pinpoint. Elena returned, her smile seemingly even more bewitching than before. But then, to Daniel's astonishment, he noticed movement in the corner of his eye, a flicker of movement that wasn't Elena's. Turning his head, he saw figures lurking in the shadows of the hallway. 4 other people, their eyes fixed on him with an unsettling intensity. "Daniel," Elena purred, her voice dripping with honeyed sweetness. "I'd like you to meet my friends. They've been eager to make your acquaintance." Daniel's heart pounded in his chest as realization dawned upon him. The realization that he had walked into something far more sinister than a simple date. His mind raced, his instincts screaming at him to escape. But he was outnumbered, trapped within the confines of Elena's apartment. Her friends stepped forward, their faces obscured by the dim lighting. They radiated an eerie energy, their presence sending a shiver down Daniel's spine. Panic surged within him as he searched for an exit, his heart racing with every passing second. "I hope you're comfortable, Daniel," Elena continued, her voice taking on a chilling edge. "You see, we've been looking for someone like you, someone special, someone who can bring us what we need." Daniel's mind raced, piecing together the puzzle in a desperate attempt to understand the situation. He realized he was not just meeting Elena that night, he was part of something much darker. His pulse quickened as he realized the truth. He was the prey, brought into this trap to fulfill some sinister purpose. In a surge of adrenaline, Daniel lunged for the door, his instincts overriding his fear. He fought his way through the apartment, the sound of his own heartbeat drowning out the voices that echoed in his ears. Elena's friends gave chase, their inhuman speed making them a formidable obstacle. As Daniel reached the door, his trembling fingers fumbled with the lock, his breath ragged. Just as he was about to escape, a powerful force slammed into him, knocking him to the ground. Elena stood before him, her eyes now void of any warmth, replaced by a chilling emptiness. "You see, Daniel," she hissed, her words dripping with malice. "We feed on the flesh and blood of those who cross our path. You're lucky to be chosen, lucky to be our meal tonight." The truth struck Daniel like a physical blow. He had stumbled into the lair of people that fed on humans, luring victims in with beauty and charm before ensnaring them in a deadly trap. He had become entangled in their web, a plaything for their dark desires. Summoning every ounce of strength, Daniel managed to free himself from Elena's grasp and scrambled toward the door once more. With a surge of desperation, he yanked it open and stumbled into the hallway, his heart pounding as he fled down the corridor. Behind him, he heard guttural snarls and eerie laughter, a cacophony of chilling sounds that fueled his escape. He burst out of the building and into the cool night air, gasping for breath as he put as much distance between himself and the apartment as possible. As he ran, he began to feel the energy being drained from his body. He grew slower and slower, his vision becoming blurry. Did they stick him with something? Did he drink something? Those thoughts and the feeling of icy cold hands upon him, were the last sensations that Daniel would ever experience as he slowly collapsed onto the ground completely unconscious. Despite the best efforts in the coming months, including the police finding and searching the empty apartment where Daniel went that night, no part of Daniel was ever seen or found again.